Go find me. I will come by you.
Hey, thank you everybody for coming by to see this online class that we have today. I'm going to wait a few moments so people get here in the room so we can talk about how to improve your SEO on a WordPress website. Just leave a comment and let me know if anyone's here already. I can already see one of you kind of showed up. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. I decided to do this class based off a student that comes in. They're always asking questions about how to get their WordPress website to rank. I also thought it would be a good idea to do a class just for my customers. A lot of times we have customers that give us a call that are always asking about, well, I have a website, but I can't find myself on Google. A lot of the time, some of these problems are really simple to solve. Now, I do have to say there are a lot of professional SEO companies out there. There are a lot of experts that you can reach out to validate this information. I would also like to let you know that whenever you're talking about SEO, there are so many different things that kind of go into this bucket of information that I'm going to give you, but I'm going to give you 7 of the top things that we perform for 95 to 99% of our customers when we're working with them. We always recommend this. We always recommend them to do it, and it's usually like the second or third stage of the build. So hopefully you can find a lot of value out of this, and if you have any further questions, always feel free to reach out to us, and we can kind of elaborate on any specific topic or any specific step that we spoke about in this live stream. So one thing I'd like to say is, as always, every month we do a Shopify event, we do a WordPress event, and we do a social media event. In those events, we talk about varying types of news, different types of security issues in the industry, and we also give people various tools that they can use to help their business. And we also teach them how to use those tools. We've been doing these classes, events all over the city of Birmingham and Hoover, Alabama for approximately 2.5 years now. And now, obviously, we think it's important to put this information online for other people to be able to hear as well. So hopefully this can bring you some type of value for your business. So let's go ahead and jump into the presentation we have here. As you can see, we've already had our Shopify meetup. We'll go ahead and do an online video for that one as well that we had on March 11th. We had our in-person event March 18th, and we're also having an in-person event on March 25th. We will also do that one online as well. One thing that we do want to start out with on WordPress is we definitely want to talk to everybody about WooCommerce 4.0. Please make sure before you do any updates on your WordPress website with WooCommerce 4.0 that everything that you have plugin-wise will actually work with 4.0. I see a lot of the developers are scrambling right now to get everything done. They've been working on it probably the last 30 days, trying to be ready. Please try to make sure before you do an update that you do a full backup before you update to 4.0. That way, if you have any kind of conflicts or any kind of problems, you can always roll back to the previous version that you had. 5.4 will default to full screen mode. This is kind of exciting to a lot of people. Sometimes a lot of us don't really like all those things in the way when you're actually building something. I'm really happy about that. I've always liked to be able to move things out of the way when I'm working to kind of get a better of a full-scale picture on what we're actually seeing. Gutenberg 7.7 has a lot of options that's been added in. I think a lot of you guys are really going to be, really happy to use it. It's going to be in WordPress 5.4. And right now, everything's on schedule for launch on March 31st for WordPress 5.4. As always, before you update, please try to make sure that you do a full backup of what you have. That way, if you have any types of problems, you can do a full restore. And if you have any questions about how to back up on whatever hosting you're using or how to restore, please let us know. So let's jump into some WordPress security issues that we've had over the last month. Every month, this is something that we like to bring up. Sometimes we don't like to talk about negative news in light of what's all happening around the world today, but let me just go ahead and bring a few things up. About a year and a half ago, I recommended a lot of my customers to use a plugin called the Modern Events Calendar. Modern Events Calendar is an excellent product, and it really gives you a good system to build all your events on your WordPress website. Unfortunately, they had a vulnerability in their plugin that was identified. And if you have this plugin installed, you need to make sure that you update to the latest version. There are several sites that are still at risk. As you can see here, there's about 40,000 sites at risk on Modern Events Calendar. Theme Grill Demo Importer, there's about 200,000 sites at risk. Infinite WP Time Capsule, obviously you can see the numbers on these. Anything that you're currently working on with these particular plugins or integrations, please make sure that you update to the latest version to close those holes. One of the biggest things that I want to bring up right here, WordPress by nature, it's about 1/3 of the internet is powered by WordPress. So obviously people always try to attack WordPress websites to get information or whatever it is they want to do to damage your reputation. So try to make sure that everything that you do, you spend the equivalent time in making sure your WordPress website is secure. There are so many different ways you can make your website secure, such as adding two-factor authentication, such as putting a redirect on your WP admin login. You can also use cloud-based security measures for your website. There are so many different integrations or plugins that you can use to protect your WordPress website. There's going to be several videos that I do in the future on what you can do to keep people from accessing your information or hacking your website. Just recently, we had a customer reach out to us yesterday that somebody had gained access to their website and started using their website to advertise pharmaceutical drugs. And they were actually ranking #1 for specific keywords on their particular website because they were a high traffic website. So obviously that right there is something you don't ever want to happen. It was not a good combination of what they were advertising on their website versus the company that's website that got hacked. You can only imagine. So let's try to eliminate that from happening. As always, you can't be 100%. There's always some type of way that someone can access it, but we need to do everything we can to keep them out. So we have products that we sell that can really help secure your site. Some of them range up to about $7,000 a year. Some of the really high-end products that we have that people like Walt Disney and other large-scale companies use. So just let us know if there's anything that you're concerned with on that. We'll be more than happy to help you. So let's go ahead and start with what can I do to improve the SEO on my WordPress website. I can say about 80 to 90% of the websites that we log into today that people say that they can't be found on WordPress, they've really missed this essential step. You have to set up your Google Search Console. Now, when you go to set up your Google Search Console, this is totally free. It just requires a little bit of work. There's nothing intimidating about it. If you guys want to, just leave a comment below and I'll be more than happy to make a video on how this actually works. I'll start up a little website and show you how it actually integrates into it and how it works. We do this with Squarespace websites, Wix websites, WordPress websites, Shopify websites. This is something that's essential for you to actually show up online. The most important thing that you can do is verify your website with Google. They will simply ask you to copy an HTML tag and paste it into your website in the code or with some type of plugin or integration. Every particular platform has a different way of doing it. So you can also validate that by tying in your Google Analytics account or verifying your domain. If you have at least 3 of those verifications done, that's a really good sign with Google. Another thing that we see, people are not submitting their sitemap. Again, every platform that you work on has a different way of submitting that sitemap, so you need to check the documentation with whatever platform you're talking about. So let's just focus on WordPress. So the majority of them, if you're using a specific plugin, will be sitemap.xml added to the end of your URL, and that is how you will submit that. As soon as you submit that sitemap and you have verified your website, in some cases, it will index rather quickly, a couple of days, sometimes 7 days to 30 days. It depends on what all you've done. You'll start seeing yourself show up online. Now, there are a few tricks on how to get it to implement immediately, but just understand once you start doing a lot of work, optimization, things are going to start changing in the rankings anyway. A lot of times people will see, they'll show up online immediately and then they'll fall back down to the second or third page. And that just means that you need to do a little bit more work to rank for that particular keyword that you're wanting to rank for. Now, as soon as all that information is submitted and you've verified your website, within 24 to 48 hours, you're going to start seeing site errors, and the console, the Search Console, is going to notify you about it. You're also going to see if you have any robots.txt file errors. And what you need to do is you need to read the documentation, or you need to go through everything and you need to find out how to fix those site errors. One thing that I have noticed with Google is they've been real proactive about emailing people lately to let them know what their problems are on their websites. And one thing that we get a lot is sometimes customers will get the emails and they'll send them to us and they'll say, what is this about? And of course, we have to go in and we have to fix those problems. One example that a lot of people started getting tons of emails about back in December was the buttons on their website. Google was saying the target, which is the button, was not large enough on the screen. They said it was too hard to hit the button. So we had to make people's buttons bigger on their website for their mobile version of their website. So if you've ever run into these types of problems and you don't know the solution, or the answer on how to fix it, please reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to fix those for you. You'll find all types of errors, and this might be the point where you need to reach out to a professional or whomever built your website so they can fix these errors, and this will help you rank better. Now, the next step is Google Analytics. So why would we want to do all this work for our SEO if we have no idea what's actually happening on our website? So first and foremost, you need to be real tied into the Google Analytics on your website. You need to know who's actually coming to your website. Is the company that you're working with the marketing company, or are they sending fake traffic to your website? Are they sending the proper type of customer audience to your website? We see a lot of the time people, when they're doing Facebook ads or they're doing any other types of ads on any platform, they just choose the whole entire age range. I can tell you right now, there's no purpose in a 65-year-old person to get an ad for, a fidget spinner or something like that. So you're really advertising to the wrong person. So you need to make sure that you're actually advertising to the proper audience. You have to find your audience. Now, in the beginning, if you're doing some A/B testing and you just want to see who's actually going to bite on that product per se or purchase that product, I can see going for an open audience and then kind of narrowing down. But eventually, once you start scaling your ads, you're going to see really who your customers are. When your analytics are set up properly and people are coming to your website, you'll know what their age is, if they're male or female, what their interests are, what they're surfing your website on, if they're using an Android device or an iPhone or a tablet or a desktop, and where they're located at. Sometimes that really has a lot to do with what type of product you have. It's the location of where you're selling it. So we see a lot of really interesting things once we connect Google Analytics from the majority of customers. The last couple of customers we've worked with have actually tried running ads before, and they didn't even have Google Analytics on their website. So they really had no idea who's coming to their website. So first of all, we need to make sure in step one that Google Search Console is hooked up so people can find your website online. And then we need to know exactly who's coming to it so we can find you the right customers that purchase your service and or product. We also can see, and within Google Analytics, what social platform all of your customers are coming from. A lot of the times when people do social media, they'll spend a lot of time doing social media on Facebook or Instagram, and they won't pay attention to any of the other channels. Well, the problem that we see with that is if you're not at least trying the other channels, you don't know how those customers are going to react to your product or your service. Sometimes it's just good to have a little bit of brand recognition out there. And another good point is you can actually exchange information between Google Search Console / Webmaster and Google AdWords. So we won't talk about Google AdWords today. This is something that can easily help you get traffic to your website, but that's a paid portion of advertising. So right now we're just going to strictly talk about organic things that we can do today. So remember, step one, we're going to talk about Google Search Console, and step two, we talk about set up Google Analytics. So those are the first two steps you need to make sure that you're going to do. The third step I want you to do is research on gtmetrics.com. Every time we have a new customer, we make sure by running a report on their website to make sure that everything's done properly. A lot of the times people will do a great job on building a website, or it'll look good, but they'll use the wrong size images, or they won't do any type of compression to the images. They will have too many things loading on the website, which increases your number of requests, which causes your website to load slowly. The main reason I want you to do this is I want you to understand one of the primary things that Google looks at is they look at your page speed. Google has even developed a tool in conjunction or collaboration with a company called Lighthouse that tells you how fast your website loads. They talk about a lot of different things in these tests, very similar to like what GTmetrix does. But GTmetrix does something that a lot of other tools don't do that I really like to recommend, and I like to show this to customers. You can create an account for free. This is not a paid, they do have a paid for tier, but let's just talk about the free version for now. You can create a free account and you can check from different locations all over America or all over the world, and the response of how quick your website will load for your customers. And one thing that you need to understand is if your web page load time is larger than or higher than 3 seconds, you want to do whatever you can do to reduce that overall amount. And you also need to find out what your total page size is. A lot of these websites that we check out, we had one yesterday that was as large as 6.5 megabytes. That's a extremely large web page, has too many pictures on it. It actually took GTmetrix 30 seconds to load the website. Something like that, a customer will never wait for. A lot of people, they're just impatient today. Their attention span is low. So if it doesn't load fast, it's not going to get their attention or make them happy. I've seen this even with app installs where people say the app is so slow, they just don't want to use it. So you can only imagine if they complain about an app being slow, they're definitely complaining about your website being slow. One other thing that it does is it allows you to see what's called the Why Slow rule set. That's in a separate tab. It shows you if your website needs a CDN or if you need to add a plugin for expires headers and other things. It really gives you a really good breakdown on what's wrong with your website. Every specific thing that it judges on your website, you can click on that particular word and it'll do a drop down and show you what you need to fix. It'll show you what size the image needs to be. If you need to scale that image down, example would be like on a photography website. These amazing wedding photographers that I know, they build all these really good looking websites because they do really great photography work, but they'll use a 4,200 pixel by 3,000 pixel image that's 8 megabytes, and the website loads so slow no one wants to wait on looking at it. So by running this report, it will show you what size the image needs to be, and it will give you an optimized version of that image where it compresses it, and you can download that image and reinstall it on the website. And it also allows you to compare your website to other websites. So if you've always wondered why your competitor is outranking you, you can run a comparison report with your company website and their company website, and you can see if their website is faster than yours or if it has a smaller number of requests or a smaller page size. All of these things matter when it comes to Google. Page speed is one of their top ranking factors. Now you will see a lot of people on the internet argue about this. They'll say that it's irrelevant, but I can tell you right now with all the research and what we do and the case studies and the proof we have, it actually has a big impact on it. An example would be so many people have worked for years to get a lot of backlinks to their website. Well, their websites are really slow and they don't have a lot of the proper SEO done to their website. So they just don't rank for various keywords. So they just spend a lot of money on marketing trying to show up on the first page. You can always do that, but just remember, if you do the proper steps in SEO, you can show up on the first page organically. And always remember, there's a difference between local presence, nationwide presence, and international presence. Those are three different sectors of SEO that a lot of people work in. And you also have what's called on-page SEO and off-page SEO. And there's a lot of varying factors in that. So I'm really talking about a lot of basic stuff. So you advanced guys out there, feel free to chime in the comments and let people know, there's a lot of different things that you can do. There's about 200 different ways 200 different signals that in an SEO world that are looked at on your website by Google. Probably even more than that, but those are easily identified by a lot of other experts out there. Step 4, I want you to do a little bit more research on your Google page speed analysis. Now, one thing that I did for you guys, and let me go ahead and show you. On the website, I give you the links for everything. You can go to Google Webmaster right here in step 1 and sign up. In step 2, you can set up your Google Analytics. Here's the link right here as well. Step 3, this is the link for GTmetrix. Again, that report is free to run. And here is the Google page speed analysis. You can just click this link and go directly to the page speed analysis and insert your URL, and it'll give you a mobile score, and a desktop score. Now, for the people out there, when you're running your Google PageSpeed analysis, don't be embarrassed. Your mobile score is probably going to be really low unless you've done a lot of work. The mobile score is the speed that it runs on when it checks it is a Motorola 4G type speed. They modeled it on an Android type device. So it's giving you a real world mobile speed, and that will really kind of put into perspective how long it takes for somebody to, load your website up. Now, if you're using a CDN, you will be able to, on their second load, it's going to load much faster. But just remember, if you're writing ads and you're trying to get people to come to your website and your website is not loading quickly, it's because there's other things that are not allowing it to load quickly. So you need to reduce the overall footprint. You need to reduce your megabyte size on your page size, and you need to reduce the amount of requests. And we have a lot of tricks that we can do to help teach you how to do all that. So feel free to let us know down in the comments if you'd like to know some of those, or let us know if you'd like to make a video on that. So on the Google PageSpeed analysis, basically page speed is a measurement of how fast the content on your page loads. Now, there's two different ways that this is looked at. You have what's called a speed index, and you have what's called time to interactive. I would like to focus on time to interactive, because time to interactive means that's actually when they can use the website. A speed index just shows you how fast it loads. The time to interactive could be a little bit slower. That means before you can start scrolling on your screen, it needs to finish loading all the elements on the website. Now, Google PageSpeed analysis gives you opportunities on how to improve. This is really great. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you the version that you can fix it with, much like GTmetrix does. But I want you to use GTmetrix to help find the errors on your website. And then I want you, after you have fixed it, to use Google PageSpeed analysis to determine the difference, like the before and the after. If you guys can give me some more case study information where you've performed these operations, a before and after, that would be great. And then we can always communicate and determine a way that will help you make it go faster. And then another really good part about Google PageSpeed is it shows you everything that you've actually done right. A lot of times when you run these tests, no one ever tells you what you've done right or wrong. They only tell you what you've done wrong, not what you've done right. So this will show you all the audits that you have actually passed. So it's good that you can get some real world data out of running this test right here. Okay. So let's just try to jump back again just to kind of go over it. So step one, Google Search Console. Once you get that done, Google will know you're there. Step two, we can start determining who's actually come to your website. Step 3 and 4 are just primarily research. GTmetrix.com and the Google PageSpeed analysis. Both of these, if you want to leave them up, in a different tab where you can determine, what can I do to help my website? Maybe we can make some recommendations on it. Some websites that are built with specific themes take a lot of work to get them to run faster. Again, we can make other videos on combinations of things that just make fast websites to begin with. All right, the step 5 of what we want to do today is I want you to do some research with a website called Site Checker Pro. These guys are verified with Google. I've done a little bit of checking into them, and I really like their product. You can run a report for free. Obviously, there are limitations, and with all great tools, they're going to eventually ask you to sign up or pay a monthly fee. Their product starts at about $29.95 a month. However, this particular product allows you to monitor the SEO of your website to let you know if anything has changed. It will allow you to produce an entire audit report. The free one you can do without paying a dime. You can actually scan up to 150 pages on a website. Once you do this, it will give you that breakdown on everything that you need to fix on your website. It'll tell you if you're missing descriptions, or if you're missing alt image tags, or if there's so many different things that it will tell you. It would take me hours to describe everything that needs to be done. And maybe this is something that's better for a different, presentation with Site Checker Pro, but it's a very powerful tool and very extensive. One good thing is you can run unlimited reports once you're a member of it. They don't limit you, and you can actually, for you agency guys out there, you can run reports on up to 5 different websites. You can keep them in your project database, and you can actually monitor those. That way, if anything's changed, it'll notify you and let you know. There's so many different things that this particular tool has to offer. There's a lot of times people make these tools and they're not certified to connect into your Google Analytics or anything like that. And that's just bad. And these guys right here, they have their certification, I believe, as of yesterday. So that's really good to know that they are approved by Google to work with. So definitely check out Site Checker Pro, sitechecker.pro, and let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. The step 6, we're going to talk about the RankMath SEO plugin. There are several paid versions of great SEO plugins, and there are several free versions. I'm sure everyone in the WordPress community has heard about Yoast. I'm sure you've heard of All-in-One SEO Pack. I'm sure you've heard about Squirrely. I'm sure you've heard about all those particular plugins out there. All of them have their special place. And for a long time, I would say Yoast and All-in-One were great choices. But as time progressed and they started adding more features, some of them started adding paid versions. And of course, as a customer, when it comes to doing all these plugin upgrades and all these different things that these people want, I hear customers always saying, man, it's another cost. It's another cost. And if you're not careful, you can be paying for 10 to 20 things all at the same time. And that could really drive the cost of your, website up. So when we find a great product that's free to use, we like to recommend it to our customers. We have 2 different tier products that are paid versions that we recommend to certain customers. But if you're a beginner all the way to a professional level and you really use the RankMath product thoroughly, you'll be very happy with the results. We did a lot of testing with RankMath before we decided to talk about it. We actually removed our plugin from one of our primary websites that we've had for 3 years that I know of. That is a paid plugin, and we installed RankMath and we did a lot of testing. And within 2 to 3 weeks, we had our rankings for those specific keywords back. So I can just say, in all honesty, that we lost our rankings for about 2 to 3 weeks. And when I had talked about doing this class about 30 days ago, I told people I was going to do it. So I proved to people that it can be done, that you can actually use this product, and it's a solid product. And another interesting thing, it reduced the overall footprint. It actually loads faster now, which is something I'm really happy about. A lot of times people will, they'll make a claim that it reduces overall bloat of your website. So I can honestly say it's very well optimized for speed. I love their user interface. Everything's laid out very well. And you don't have to pay for all these options like you would on Yoast or other things. Now, again, I'm not opposed to paying for options. I'm just really excited to see an excellent product that I can recommend people to use, because the majority of the SEO that we have to do, we have to spend a lot of time doing that. And this is something that just customers like to know, that they can get the plugin for free. They can log in, they can see it, and they can try to do some things, but they realize if they need to reach out to a professional, it's okay. It's nothing like paying for a product and then you realize you got to pay somebody to, to do it for you anyway. So RankMath, great job on what you've done. we're really impressed over here on our side. So, and I think this is something that we could easily do a 2 or 3 hour presentation on how to integrate RankMath into your website. And step 7 would be a local SEO software that we sell. Anytime you're trying to be found in a certain city for your location, and this also goes for businesses out there like gas stations or restaurants, and you have all these different cities that your business is present in, but you don't know how those businesses can be found online. So what we do is we manage that service. It's a white glove service that we offer to our customers. We've been doing this now for about 3.5 years. All of our customers are really happy with it. However, just recently we updated the software, and within this, we have chosen, there's about 40 different high domain authority type websites that we list your business on, very similar to a citation or a business directory. And we also create local business pages for your location. We also add you to all the different voice search modules, such as Alexa, Google Home, Cortana, Bixby. And we also add you to all the different GPS and navigation maps. That would be like Siri and all the different things that you would, Waze, Google Maps, where you can be easily found, if those people use their GPS to come to your business. I can't tell you, like 2 or 3 years ago, some of these things were a really time consuming to sign up. We just have a monthly fee that we charge our customers, and we just handle everything for them. They just let us know, yes, we want this to be a part of our package, and then we just press the button, go, and we handle it for them. So if this is something that you want to do, please reach out to us and let us know. It really works well. We can't guarantee winning, the top of the maps with this, but what we see is some of our customers, I would say 80 to 90% of our customers are showing up in the top 3 listings locally in that area by following, this procedure and making sure that their websites show up online. This is just something that reinforces and gives a little bit of link juice to your website so you show up better online. So I decided to go ahead and throw these in here because we had a lot of questions, before and after this event that we did locally. And let me just give you a few bonuses right here. These are some other things that you can do to make your WordPress website rank. And these are some things that I've just found based off my experience, and some things that other experts in the industry have found. And we like to share this stuff because ideally we want people to rank. We want people to be able to find your business, because if people are spending money with your business, you're going to be happy and you're going to continue to spend money with us. So we're always trying to get more knowledge to help you increase your business. One thing that we've seen on a lot of the high traffic websites is a table of contents plugin. What this does is it adds a short menu system at the top of your page. So as you scroll down, you'll see part A, B, C, D, E, and you can jump to that section with an anchor link. So imagine if you were to have a web page with 10,000 words on it. Well, people may not want to read all 10,000, of the words on that web page. But if you give them a table of contents in the top where they can click it and jump directly to that paragraph or section, that can narrow down what it is they're actually looking for. And then they may stay on the page and actually read it. I know, again, this falls back on what we're talking about on the page load speed. Sometimes some people do not like websites with a lot of copy on it. Google loves websites with a lot of copy on it, but individuals, they don't like it. They would rather find a video, or they would rather find a picture. And these are some of the things that you can do within that table of contents. You can direct them directly to a video or an infographic that you have on there, or an image that you have on there on how to do something. So I highly recommend you to to make use of these table of content plugins, and I'll be more than happy to recommend to you the ones that I like. Let's talk about outbound link quality. Just because you can link out on your page going to somewhere else doesn't mean you should. Make sure that the link is worthwhile to your niche or your business. One thing that Google does very well is it knows when a website is a spammy website with a bunch of, if you're selling diapers on your website and you have a blog and you're trying to rank it, there's no reason for you to blog about your Nike shoes and link out to Nike's website. That's not going to help you because it's not relevant to your business. You want to try to keep it relevant to what it is you're working on. So in digital marketing, I would only want to link out to somebody else that's within that realm. I would not want to link out to, who won the last, fishing tournament or whatever. You want to make sure that the quality of links that you're sending out are relevant to your business. And please make sure you spell things right. I know one thing, everyone always likes to joke with me about it because I harp about this a lot. Please make sure that your grammar and your spelling is correct. I'll throw this tip in for you. I'm so headstrong about this. Just please go to grammarly.com and get you a free account and then get the paid for version. Because if you're going to be doing a lot of writing on your website, by all means, put that writing inside Grammarly, let it score it and tell you what you've done wrong. You will thank me later. A lot of people, we see this every day in their social media post. And we know it just really annoys a lot of people in general. So I can tell you that there are customers that have told us in the past, they don't even like they will not even go to a website and use you as a service provider if they see something spelled wrong. This is actually proven. That's nothing that they're very, very serious about this. We recently redid a website for somebody that had 12 misspellings on their homepage. So please just make sure you check your spelling on all your pages of your website. And another part about links, let's make sure your internal links on your website are high quality. So, example, if you go to a specific website and on their homepage, they're talking about what it is they do. If you want to link from your homepage to a page that is about one of the services that you provide, that's perfectly fine. But make sure that you're internally linking in your website to other portions of the website. This also allows people to find other things on your website otherwise they would never go to because they don't know where to go or how to get there. That all is dependent on what type of search system you use and what type of menu system you use. So again, internal links and outbound links, very, very important in the SEO world. One thing that I've noticed on a lot of really big websites that use this technique is citing references and sources. So if you're doing a story about a particular political action or movement or any other type of thing that you want to write about, if you cite the references and sources back to the person that inspired you to write that, there's a good possibility that they will either A, follow you or link back to you. Without citing the references or sources, Google's going to think that you're plagiarizing. So to all you people out there that like to spin articles and don't link to whoever the original creator is, you might want to rethink that strategy because I'm pretty sure you lost a lot of ranking, with this last algorithm update by Google. So just always make sure you cite the references and sources of your information if it's not something you otherwise already know about. Let's talk about domain trust and trust rank. This is a huge thing. So if your domain for your website is really old, like if you've had it for more than 5 years, 10 years, this is a good sign for Google. This is actually patented. You can look this information up if you want to validate it. It really has a lot to do with domain trust. So if you have a very old website, it's going to rank better if all the SEO is done properly than something that a company has just recently just launched last week. Please make sure, this third right here, HTTPS, your SSL and your website, it is definitely a ranking signal, and they've been talking about this for years. So please make sure that you have an SSL on your website. We're going to be launching probably next week a program where we're just going to be reaching out to local businesses and helping them get their website protected and get an SSL back on it. We see probably, anywhere from 3 to 5 out of 10 websites don't have SSLs on them. And we need to change that. We need to let businesses know that not having an SSL really leaves them vulnerable to attack and their customer data being stolen. And this is the last one of bonus round 2 that I want to say is, if you're building a website and you really like the use of tabs on your page, on your product page or your information pages, please understand that in certain themes and in certain instances, your SEO plugin will not see the content behind the tabs. So you may have to do some extra work in order for it to see it, or just don't use tabs and hide content behind them. It's just not good to do that. Just go ahead and put the content on there. I know when we're talking about design, tabs look really good, but I wouldn't hide the content behind a tab unless you are 100% certain that it's not affecting any of your SEO. So please make sure you check that. We ran into a similar issue with that recently, where a customer had a lot of information behind tabs, and when we ran a report on it, it said that page only had like 400 words on it, but there was 4 or 5 tabs, and every tab had 250 to 350 words on it. So it just couldn't see that content behind the tabs. So please just make sure to check, and if that's the case, just pull that content out from behind that tab and make either more pages or put more content on there. Again, Google is not going to, they're going to actually like it when they see your content. So let's just, I just want to send out a special thank to all the people that are our partners in business. That would be the guys at Back to Basics. You can check out MySQLServerTuning.com. If you have any type of MySQL needs, if you need any help on getting your server to run faster or compute more tables quicker, please reach out to them. And my name's Jimmy, I'm the one who runs Xenogram, and to our partners at American Financial Management. And if you have any other further questions, you can always email me. You can call us. You can directly message us on the site down here. If we don't answer immediately, just leave your email in there. You can fill out the contact forms, or you can schedule an appointment and meet us here in the office. And I just wanted to say thank you guys for coming in. If you can, let me know who all's here at the event. Let me know who all came. Also, let me know if you want me to continue to do these events online. Does this actually help you or help you save time? Obviously, I think it would be a great idea, especially with this pandemic that we're dealing with, offer these classes online. I'll continue to do these classes for free, but some of the more specific stuff that requires more time, I might just make some paid for classes for that. Let me go ahead and show you up here on the website. You can go directly to the RankMath website to download the plugin. It's very simple to follow the wizard to set up the stuff on there. The interface is great. There are some stuff that is rather advanced. So before you start changing a lot of stuff, you might want to reach out to whomever's helped you build your website or somebody that you know is available. And this is the link to sitechecker.pro. Let me know down in the comments below, on your WordPress website, what type of score you got. And if you would like, feel free to share your report and send it to me via email, and we can make some recommendations for you. And as always, when you come to our website, this is the way that we handle all of our events. You can click here to see our last social media event. You can click here to see our last Shopify event. And you can click here to see our last WordPress event. On every page, you'll see down here at the bottom, let me just go ahead and scroll and show you. We make a page for every single event we do. When we're having our next WordPress event, a way to reach out to us here. If you are interested in starting a WordPress website and you want to use an extremely good hosting service, I highly recommend Cloudways. We always talk very highly of Cloudways just due to the fact of their affordable service and how great their customer service is. They're always there. They're always there to answer your questions. That's been the biggest problems with hosting in the past is, any type of problem you have, you always want to make sure that they're there. And they do have some very affordable prices. And if you'd like to, go ahead and join our free community here on this website. It's essentially like a private forum that you can ask questions in. That's totally contained in the website. It's not an external Facebook group or anything like that. It's solely based on this website. Well, I do appreciate you guys for coming today, and I look forward to making some more videos like this in the future. If you have any questions right now, feel free to ask. All right, if nobody has any questions, maybe you can just email me or send me a message directly through the website, and I guess we'll see you at the next event. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming.